Hello there and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. I'm the RNGenius, but you may call me Eric, and in the last episode we defeated the Sharkidile in the underground waterway, and we went back toward the, the entrance, and we found another hidden passageway. We're almost done in there. We now looted one of the... well, I'm not actually up there, I'm not down here. We looted one of the last chests. And there was a La Forte quartz in there that I have not looked at yet. I was talking about how I have used Forte with Laura before, but that's because Forte is on the Brave quartz, and the La Forte will have strength up and defense up, I assume. La Forte, no, only strength up. Strength plus 10 is pretty significant, but I don't like the actual thing to cast. Then again, why don't I? Why do I not like that? I would do great with being able to cast La Forte. More so than being able to cast Chrono Break, I assume, but... well, Intimidation is gonna stay, Reaper is gonna stay. Is Reaper gonna stay, though? I don't use Demonic Scythe, Frost Edge, or Spark Arrow like ever. I have Earth... I have Grand Press, I have Dark Matter, Adamantine Shield. I don't think I use these at all. He just doesn't have enough arts. 270 and 400. There's a little bit of a difference here. I'd rather have him as a supportive type character. That means I would want to get rid of Reaper on him. So La Forte is actually a little better than what he has right now if I use him like I've used him before. And you use Scent, that has Aerial on it, but Aerial's on that as well. Grand Press is not. Grand Press is only on the Scent Quartz, meaning the Scent Quartz is still better than what I could have otherwise. Grand Press and Dark Matter on that Quartz. What a monstrous combination. There is a huge drawback to it as well.
Oh, there's the exit.
Here's the exit.
We're finally there.
What do you mean, finally? I don't know where this exit is gonna lead, by the way. I have no clue. If we've been there previously or not. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it also opened up to Major Park, but... I don't think so. Ost, of course. Ah, there. The ominous locked door. Hey, isn't this? Ost District. We seem to have emerged in the Ost District. Machias' home is here, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, I had no idea that underground passage went all the way from the port to here. That network of tunnels beneath the city really does seem to cover a vast area. It's like something out of a spy novel. I'll say, maybe it's a sign. Was that... it must be the chime to mark the noon hour. Yeah, that's Heimdaller Cathedral's bell. The cathedral itself is pretty far away over in the Sank district, but you can hear it pretty clearly even here. Well, I think it's about time we found something to eat. How about we ordered to go from one of the local shops? And we don't really have much, but I'd be happy to at least treat you to coffee at our house. What? You mean it? Machias, you're inviting us into your home. That's a first. They decided to grab some fish and chips to go from a nearby pub. With their meal in hand, they headed to Marcus's house to enjoy lunch with a good cup of coffee. There was a weird coffee machine. Ah, so this is the capital's famous fish and chips. I was expecting it to be delicious, but even still, I'm impressed. Yeah, that pub's supposed to be pretty well known for their fish and chips. I'll admit it tastes good, but at the end of the day, it's still greasy comfort food. Better eat it while it's hot. It tastes disgusting if you let it cool off. Probably still better than wartime rations, though. Wartime ration, not wart. Doesn't have anything to do with warts. What food isn't? This coffee seems pretty high class, though. It's got a nice, rich fragrance. Do you buy your own beans and grind them at home? Yeah, it looks like my father went out and stocked up not too long ago. Now and then he gets the chance to take some time away from his duties and come relax back here. He sees his coffee as a small island of luxury in his hectic daily life, I think. That does sound like something I could see Governor Regnitz saying. He seems quite like a respectable man to me. You'd hardly imagine a home like this belonging to an important official like the Imperial Governor. It's tiny. You know, Fee, it wouldn't hurt to be a little less blunt. No worries. As I said, my father and I are commoners through and through. He might be a top official, but neither of us really saw that as a reason to change our whole lifestyle. Besides, it's not as though we don't have some attachment to this house. Alright. It does seem like a comfy place to live in, though. Really cozy and relaxing.
Ooh, there's a photo.
Oh, that.
And suddenly there was voice acting.
Aww, look at cute little Marcus there.
Avoid the elephant in the room, guys.
He looks like he had such a sweet disposition.
Yeah, before he grew up to be a stubborn old nag.
Stop nitpicking people's old family photos! Honestly.
The governor looks the same as ever, though. Is that woman next to him your older sister or something?
Yeah, talking about the elephant. I'll take that back. Please, I'll take it back for him. You don't have to answer right now. I know it's a touchy topic.
Close enough. She was a cousin on my father's side of the family.
What?
Since she lived quite close, she often came to visit.
What?
Our family was just my father and I, so having her around was a big help.
Where do babies come from again?
The way you speak about her seems to imply you no longer see her. Did she get married and move away?
She died.
Ooh.
Around 6 years ago.
Oh.
I see. And that has something to do with why you hate the nobility, right?
So...
I never really planned on telling anyone about this. But considering all we've been through, I suppose it's time I told you a little more about me. It's a long story, but would you hear me out?
Of course.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Glad to.
Thanks. Sis was 9 years my senior. Beautiful, kind. To me, she was in every sense the ideal woman. Now, as I said earlier, we're a family of commoners through and through. But my father proved to be a very capable government official. And eventually, he was promoted to an important government position, where he started to make a name for himself. Honesty and integrity are a core part of his work ethic. So, of course, he made his fair share of enemies. But after seeing success in a number of major projects, he gained a reputation both inside and outside the government. My mother died when I was still young. But Sis happened to live around here, and ended up helping us in more ways than I can count. Since she was his niece, my father always made a fuss over her. And even though she didn't live in the same house, she was like a real sister to me, and a real daughter to my father. I was always so proud of her. As a child, she was practically my idol. And as you'd expect, she had countless admirers among the men of the city. But for all her popularity, she was always level-headed and sensible. So I never felt I had anything to worry about. Until he appeared. He was one of my father's subordinates at City Hall. Though unlike him, he was a noble by birth. A man of high rank, too. The heir of a count. However, he had none of the arrogance or haughtiness one usually associates with the nobility. When I met him myself, he came across as an honest and loyal man. He met Sis when Dad introduced him to her one day. And eventually, the two of them fell in love and began a relationship, despite the difference in their social status. As a child, I was frustrated beyond words. But even I had to admit that the two of them made a good couple. And Sis seemed so happy when she was with him that I had no choice but to let it go and accept their relationship. Time went on and they became engaged, with Dad acting as the go-between. And that's when everything started to fall apart. His family couldn't have been more blatant in their attempts to undermine the relationship. Apparently, one of the 4 great houses, House Cayenne, proposed an arranged marriage on short notice. And the Count's family were up in arms at the thought he might choose to take a mere commoner as his wife. Since my father held an important post, they were limited in how shamelessly they could try to sabotage the marriage. But they began to harass and threaten her in secret every way they could think of. Made her life a living hell. Maybe she didn't want to cause trouble for the man she loved, or perhaps she did it out of consideration for my father. But all that time she chose to endure it alone. She never discussed it or asked for help. And finally, it became so crushing that she took her own life. It was only afterward that my father and I learned what had really happened. It seems that at the very last, he had chosen to betray her love for him. "But I told her," he said. "I told her I'd treasure her as my mistress instead if she'd just accept that we couldn't be married. I just don't understand it. Why would she take her own life?" After that, my father seemed to redouble his efforts. It was like watching a machine kick into high gear. With the help of his ally, Chancellor Osbourne, he was able to wrest control of City Hall from the noble faction. Then, 4 years ago, he was appointed to his current position as governor of Heimdall. And that's how the Regnitz family came to be where it is.
I don't even know what to say.
So that's why you started hating nobles?
Yeah. I was so furious at Sis's death. My hatred needed to be directed at someone. Anyone. First I blamed her fiancé, then his family, then the family of the Duke who tried to intervene. In the end, I just hated the nobility as a whole. The people, their culture, the entire idea of social classes. I desperately wanted the strength to win against them. To show how right I was. How wrong they were. But deep down, I knew the truth about my hate. I knew I was taking out my anger on people who didn't deserve it. People who had done nothing wrong.
You did?
They may be from different social classes, but people are still individuals. Sis's fiancé was faithful to her. He just wasn't strong enough to shield her from all that ugliness, despite his love. And the Count and his family were only acting in their best interests, which is to be expected, really. Ultimately, I've had to acknowledge that not all commoners are good people, and not all nobles are unworthy of respect. Eustace might not have done much to change my opinion. But getting to know you two showed me that there are nobles who live up to that name.
Machias.
I have no idea how my father feels about all of this, but this is how I've come to feel.
I see. You have my thanks.
I'm glad you felt you could talk to us about it.
Still, I don't think it hurt to be a bit more honest with yourself. If you're willing to admit all of that, maybe you can find it in you to be friends with Eustace too.
Uh-oh.
Are you kidding me? I might accept that not all nobles are bad, but that arrogant, self-centered fool can go choke on a palm.
But not a shining palm. Those are for me. But, you know, with his great buffing skill and all, you know, you gotta, you know, step back, because I will take him over you in my party, because he's just more better.
He's mocking me for spending so much time studying, or telling me I need to get out more.
I don't think he goes quite that far. Besides, I don't think he does it on purpose. He doesn't mean any harm.
That's the most irritating part! He does it without thinking!
Well, that was a good coffee break, wouldn't you say?
As good as coffee breaks get. Machias can now use the S-Craft Ultimate Shot. Assbreaker, sorry, wrong phrasing there. Well, lunchtime is over. Must be almost time for the summer festival decorations to start going up. I would have thought preparations for that would have started way before now. Is the summer festival not that big of a deal in the capital? It depends on who you ask, I guess. I've always just thought of it as one of those small yearly traditions. In my hometown, the summer festival is a major event with extensive preparations. Perhaps those places where the ancient animistic traditions survive put more effort into celebrating the festival? Animism does seem to have mostly vanished here. Not as much as in Rower or Crossbell, though. Well, I suppose it is hard to think of it as a seasonal festival in the capital when it's celebrated a month late to begin with. I think most just see it as an opportunity to catch a glimpse of the imperial family. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, that makes sense. Huh? Is that your Arcus ringing? What's it doing ringing out here? This is Class 7, Group A, Rean Schwarzer speaking. Hello there, Rean. This is called Regnitz. Governor Regnitz! Dad, come to think of it, he did say that we'd be able to use our Arcus' communication functionality in the city, didn't he? You're Group A's representative, so I figured it'd be best to call you. Is now a good time? Yes, now it's totally fine. We actually just left your home. Maki has invited us in for coffee. Did he now? I have had a favorite specialty store roast. I had a favorite specialty store roast those beans just the way I like them. It was top-notch brew, all right. With all that's been going on, it was nice to just sit down and enjoy a good cup of coffee. Well, I'm glad you were able to spend some quality time together. Anyway, getting to the point, I'm calling because we have a bit of a problem on our hands. That being the case, I'd like Group A to take care of one additional task for me. An extra task. We can do that, sure, but what exactly would you like us to do? There appears to have been a burglary at a jeweler's in the Garnier district. Well, that's not all. The culprit seems to have left a message addressed to you. What? Your confusion is understandable. However, the jewelers submitted a report of the burglary to City Hall a short while ago. Normally I'd leave this to proper authorities, but would you be willing to go and see if there's anything you can do? Of course, sir. We'll head over to the Garnier district at once. Alright then, I leave this matter in your hands. What was that all about? Whatever it is, you seem perplexed. Well, wait till you hear this. Rean explained the particulars of Governor Regnit's additional task to the group. So, a jewelry boutique was burglarized, and the culprit left a message addressed to us. Weird. Though thinking about it, this all sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, now that I mention it, I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu as well. Still, it would have been helpful if my father could have furnished a few more details. Well, it's already past noon. Let's head over to the Garnier district and find out what happened. Rean and the other members of Group A paid a short visit to Heimdall Port to report the monster's extermination. After doing so, they boarded a tram to the Garnier district. Heimdall Port monster, 5 new materials. 1 additional field study task was added. Burglary at the jewelers. San Courier's jewelers. It seems a burglary has taken place at a jewelers in the Garnier district called San Courier's. We should head over and find out what happened as soon as possible. What do you mean? What do you mean ASAP? Let's not. Yeah, nice. That means I can go back to the Bracer Guild and see if that camera has anything good to say, because I apparently missed that. I missed something in here, is what someone told me, and I'd like to check that. No, there is actually no camera in here, huh? Yeah. Huh. Huh. Now I'm weirded out. Maybe that was at a time where I actually had a camera and now I can't do that anymore. I'm not even entirely sure what I was supposed to. I was supposed to make photos of those shops at the street district there, the Vancouver Street. I was supposed to do that, and thus probably, yeah, that's where I missed that. But I'm awfully tired right now, so I'll actually take a nap and hope that, you know, betters or makes things a little better. Kind of exhausted, even though I didn't do much today, which is dumb, which is really dumb. But I mean, I'm gonna take a nap and I'll see if I can record more after that. Hope you enjoyed it though, and I hope I'll see you next time. Until then, toodles!